an inferno, prison cell, no TV, no lunch to eat, no weight rooms, no such thing as sleep. Total torment, forever in a day, no time for a party. You're too busy screaming I'm sorry. Oh my God, why me, why me? I feel the burning heat. The devil don't want you to hear me. Baby, hear me out. Baby, hear me out. The devil don't want you to hear me. Baby, hear me out.
Yeah. I handle business with business while stuffing loud in the swish. Party women with women while mixing coke in the liquor. And this year is our year. We strike a pose for the pitcher. Cause when they throw us the ball, they gonna bring out the kicker. Put up sevens like soda, touching down like a champ. Cause when we step off the plane, the crowd be turned up in amps. So who's leading the nation? We Malcolm X in a mouth. Assassination ain't cool, so we gon' blow up the house. Take our Congress to war, since they like it so much. And bring our soldiers back home to spark the Afghani Dutch. We coming through in the clutch, and so they call us the closers. Must be next up in line, because nobody's as close as we are. Hey, see, we are to the top, what the sun is the blackness. If you heard something different, your information's inaccurate. We are. In the game because we monsters in practice, and they said do it big, so your boy with Galactus. We are giants of giants, stomping down on the fascists. We're defiant, box out oppression off Atlas. From the home of the Cassius that y'all know is Muhammad. So the fight is in our blood, but the peace is Islamic. We mix the gin with the tonic, then mix it in with the chronic, then mix a chick that's bubonic. You get a real supersonic look. It's no challenge to success. We mix with all but opponents, and to put it on wax, you see we ink up the map. Tatted into the coaches that wasn't influenced by rap. We've been influenced to track like the runners before me. Got a fast lane life with her runaway shorty. She got my throwaway shotty, though she could kill with her body. These Illuminati folk, man, this shit ain't a hobby. LOS in the lobby, and we restoring the feeling. Now put your hands in the air if you just feeling the feeling. And we are. See, we are to the top, what the sun is the blackness. If you heard something different, your information's inaccurate. We are. And we can't fuck with you counterfeits, we as real as it's gonna get. Identify with authentic and artists who hunger it. We are. If we get honestly honest, freedom is finally upon us. With people banding together, we growing like hydroponics. See, we got us a nation in coordination, we govern it. To conquer aggression, the corporation, the government. Rebel pride and I'm loving it. So true to the covenant in the harshest conditions. Physicians still cutting it, gotta gash it through mutton it. Still licking and button it, coat my life how I like so you can zip it and button it. We are. R to the top, what the sun is the blackness. If you heard something different, your information's inaccurate. We beasts in the game because we monsters in practice. And they said do it big, so you boy went Galactus. Oh, why'd you stop it?
I want to be in first in line.
We're waiting for the action.
So what are you waiting on?
Oh, I just had cops behind me, and I got warrants, so I pulled off and got in line.
It's the best of the best. It's the one and only DJ Ice, Louisville's coldest DJ.
Welcome to Conscious Fever with Carl Price.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. It's rated ice time. So listen responsibly.
Well, Good evening. Welcome to Conscious Fever here on Ice Entertainment Television and Conscious Fever Radio. I'm Carl Price, your host this week. Sort of a somber week, but we're going to try to stay as exciting as we possibly can. Listen, I want y'all to take a look at what's behind me and what's above me. Actually, what's above me. First of all, let me just tell y'all, I'm coming to y'all. We took some advice. I'm looking at DJ Ice on the monitor, so we took some advice from Judge Brown last week, so I'm doing the show from home. Don't mind the mess in my house behind me, but just understand that we want to contribute to this social distancing thing just for a moment. So I'm looking at the monitor and I can see DJ Ice. I'm here tonight with DJ Ice, co-hosting on Conscious Fever tonight. This is sort of a somber show. But we're going to give you a little bit of excitement before we get too somber. But we are going to talk about our brother George Floyd, who, as you all know now, died at the knee, I should say, of a police officer. DJ Ice, how you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing fine, man. You have a nice messy background there. I mean, so if that's a mess, past the mess. I'll take it. But I'm here in the igloo, man, you know, so.
Well, you will be in the igloo.
Yeah, I'm in the igloo.
Oh, you're in the igloo. You're just cold.
I'm in the igloo.
Oh, okay, okay. How's everything going at the station?
Everything's good.
Okay.
We took Miss Brown's advice, and
we're just kind of distancing today.
Okay, yeah. We don't want her to jump out on us, so you know we take them things very seriously.
Absolutely. Well, let me inform everybody. Tonight is a Zoom town hall meeting also. We're going to get to the Zoom town hall meeting, but if you want to participate, and we want you to participate, I don't know where all this dust is coming from. There's always something when we're live on the air. That's just like the dog hair in my house sometimes. Maybe that's why. Because the dogs have been out here, but there's dust in the air here. So now y'all know how messy my house really is. But in any case, you can join us tonight on Zoom for the town hall meeting. We don't want to hear what you have to say about the George Floyd matter. There's a lot of different opinions, a lot of different positions, a lot of different emotions nationwide. And you can join us. I'm going to look at this. It is the ID number on Zoom. You have to join us on Zoom. The ID number for tonight is 8986. We got to look at it very closely. 379600, and the password is capital C, capital F, capital E, capital V, capital E, capital R. So if you want to join us on Zoom, we're going to bring you on live so the whole world can see you on our show tonight. We'd love for you to participate. But Ice, how was your week, man?
It was nice. Yeah. Come on and zoom in, guys and girls. Zoom in. It was pretty good. How about you?
My week was not bad at all. My week was not bad. It was busy as always, but okay.
Yeah, I mean mine was good until
this happened.
I saw the video. Yeah.
Until this happened.
Yeah, I mean I heard, and there was a lot of people like, man, you know, you got to see the video.
Right.
And when I saw the video,
it's disturbing. It's extremely disturbing. And I'm going to and tonight, everybody, I'm going to respond to a lot of what I've seen online. Let me just make sure that we're all on the same page. Tonight, our show was supposed to be about black on black crime. And we have a serious show about that where we're going to talk about a white Tennessee judge who said that black males killing black males is akin to the KKK lynchings and it doesn't have to happen. And we're going to pose the question, you know, is this appropriate for him or if it's inappropriate? This is a statement he made back in July 2019 from Clarksville, Tennessee. But that's next week, because this week we were going to do that story, but then this intervened.
Breaking news.
George Floyd, right. And that's the dignity, I guess, of doing this live, is that we never know what to plan for, because you never know what's going to happen. So we're going to talk about George Floyd tonight, and we hope that you will talk about it with us on the Zoom. I'm just assuming that I didn't do anything wrong when I said hold everything for 15 minutes. So I don't know. Maybe that's what I did on this. But anyway, join us. Y'all see the ID, and you see the password, capital C, capital F, capital E, capital V, capital E, capital R.
Yeah.
Conscious Fever. How was your week,
Zoom
man? Your week was okay?
Yes,
I already asked you
yes.
that,
And
didn't
it's but it's very warm. So I got my sleeves on. So hey, I'm okay. I think it went from cold to hot, but I can deal with that.
Right. Yeah. But it's hot now.
Yeah.
It's hot
90.
now.
It was 90 today. So
Okay.
and I felt 90 degrees.
Well, I want to get the people involved, but just a little. I don't know if y'all would consider this humor or not, but just before we get into the seriousness of this show, which is George Floyd, we're going to talk about somebody else, Ice, that passed away in Minneapolis. I bet you didn't know this, right? Many of y'all probably didn't know this, but before we talk about George Floyd, we're going to talk about the Pillsbury Doughboy. Yes, he died today in Minneapolis of a yeast infection and traumatic complications from repeated pokes in the belly. He was 71 years old. Doughboy was buried in a lightly greased coffin. Dozens of celebrities turned out to pay their respects, including, Ice, get this, Mrs. Butterworth, Hungry Jack, the California Raisins, Betty Crocker, the Hostess Twinkies, and Captain Crunch. The grave site was piled high with flowers. F-L-O-U-R. I'm trying not to laugh. You want to take a guess who did the eulogy?
Who?
Just take a wild guess. Is it Mrs.? Yeah.
Mrs. Butterworth?
Ooh, close. Ancient Mama delivered the eulogy and lovingly described Doughboy as a man who never knew how much he was needed. K-N-E-A-D-E-D. Born and bred in Minnesota, Doughboy rose quickly in show business, but his later life was filled with turnovers. He was not regarded as a very smart cookie, wasting much of his dough on half-baked schemes. Despite being a little flaky at times, he still was a crusty old man and served as a positive role model for millions, Ice.
Yeah, that was good.
That was
good.
That was very good. Well, but Doughboy survived.
Oh.
Bet you didn't know who he was related to, did you? Doughboy is survived by his wife, Sarah Lee, 3 children, John Doe, Jane Doe, and Little Debbie. Plus, they had one in the oven. He is also survived by his elderly father, Pop-Tart.
Pop-Tart. Okay.
Pop-Tart. Yep. The funeral was held at 350 for about 20 minutes.
So is that he was the one that said
Right.
Yeah.
Listen, if you smile while you heard this or read this or anything like that, please rise to the occasion and pass it on, because pass it on to somebody having a crumpy day and needing a lift. He was sweet dough.
That was good.
Absolutely.
That was good.
The Pillsbury Doughboy.
Yeah, that was neat. That was very neat.
That was very neat. And it was something that we needed, y'all, tonight. Before we talk about George Floyd and start this town hall meeting. Now, Greg Freeman says, never thought I would say this, but Martin's way may be out and Malcolm's way may be coming. Whoa, you're starting early, man.
Yeah.
You're starting early. But we're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Ice?
It's getting rough out here.
So what do you think?
It's so sad, man. I mean, that, and I don't know, I don't want to talk about the other ones because that's 2 different subjects. But also the shooting that happened here too.
That happened here, right?
Yeah, that's sad also. I mean,
and that was going to be the crux of our story. But listen, I'm back. I had to, that's the beauty of doing this thing, Ice, while I'm here at the house, right?
Yeah.
I got to use the restroom. I can just use the restroom and say, hey, switch the camera over there to Ice. Obviously, I did number 1, y'all. But anyway, we're gonna.
You're gonna get a lot of. Did you wash your hands?
Did I wash my hands? Yes, I did all of that. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. But anyway, let's get to talking about George Floyd. And if you wanna call in, if you wanna join the meeting, join our town hall meeting tonight. We have a place specifically for Zoom. So the whole world is going to see you if you come in and join. But before we get into talking about George, I'm gonna break real quick for this commercial. Just as this introduction, just as a reminder of what has been taking place in America involving the killing of black males in the last 10 years. Check this out. All right, welcome back to Conscious Fever. Now, most of y'all know that the federal authorities are investigating specifically that one white police officer that was kneeling from Minneapolis for possible civil rights violations after, of course, the video surfaced on Monday that showed him kneeling on a handcuffed African-American man that we know now to be George Floyd. He was kneeling on his neck and ignoring Floyd's protests that he couldn't breathe. Floyd, as we all know now, later died. The incident has drawn almost universal condemnation. The video of a Minneapolis police officer killing a defenseless, handcuffed man is one of the most vile and heartbreaking images I've ever seen. That's according to the mayor of St. Paul, which is right across the river, as you know, from Minneapolis in Minnesota. The mayor's name is Melvin Carter, but the officer who stood guard is just as responsible as his partner. Both must be held fully accountable. This must stop now, according to the mayor. Nakima Levy-Armstrong, a prominent local activist in Minnesota, said watching the footage made her sick to her stomach and called the incident another example of police brutality toward African-American men. She says it just reminds me of Eric Garner once again, a black man being accosted by police and pleading for his life, saying he couldn't breathe, she said, referring to an unarmed New York man, as you know, who died in 2014, just 6 years ago, after being placed in a police chokehold. She says, I'm fully convinced that if police wouldn't have been called to the scene, then he would still be alive. A grand jury, of course, in the New York case, in Eric Gardner's case, later decided against indicting the officers involved, sparkling protests around the country. Chokeholds had technically been banned since 1993, but a 2015 report found that the tactic was still commonly used by the city's officers. Devondre Pike says he was heading home from a barbecue when he walked past the block, which was awash in a flashing police lights. He whipped out his phone and started recording the incident's aftermath. He says, I was just worried because this is the neighborhood that I grew up in. Because stuff like this happens, it kind of scares neighborhood people. He said in a phone interview. And he said he just wanted to do his part so that people could be aware. Olivia Armstrong also said that she was told by witnesses at the scene that Floyd had been involved in some sort of a dispute with the owner of a convenience store across the street before police were called. Whether or not this was true, she said, police could have handled the incident differently. The source of this information is the Star Tribune in Minneapolis, and it's reported by Libor Janey. Well, let's talk about ICE. We got you. We have you back there. Let's talk about this, and let's talk about this with those that are listening. They are trying to make our men of color extinct, according to Cersei Moore. But ICE, I have to tell you this. I saw, and here's part of my comment on this thing. I saw a video of George Floyd's fiance, and I have to tell you that it was interesting about something she said that really bothered me. Okay, and I'm just going to put this out there. One of the things that she said is typical what you hear, right? Just like the fella in New York. Before I get to what she said, let's talk about the fella in New York who videotaped the white female with the dog, who was abusing that dog, by the way.
Yeah, she was choking it.
Videotaped the white female, and then she said, I'm going to call, and then she called the police and says, I've been threatened by an African-American man in the park, yada, yada.
Please don't come close to me.
Sir, I'm asking you to stop recording me.
Please don't come close to me.
Please take your phone off.
Please don't come close to
And
me.
I'm taking a picture and calling the cops.
Please call the cops. Please call the cops.
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life. I'm sorry, I'm in the Ramble, and there is a man, African American, he has a bicycle helmet. He is recording me and threatening me and my dog. There is an African American man, I am in Central Park. He is recording me and threatening myself and my dog.
So the point is this, is that he then says, because she got a lot of hate responses, a lot of hate responses. Of course, she got fired, lost a job, a nice job in the financial industry there. But the interesting thing is that he said about her, he said, well, don't, I think, people don't need to be ridiculing her and yada, yada. And it was similar to something that George Floyd's fiance said. She said, well, you don't need to be doing this. People don't need to be angry. Okay, listen, Miss Fiance, with all due respect to what you've lost, no, we are going to reject that because we are angry. We are angry, and we have a right to be angry. And so, listen, this is not a time to say, oh, calm down. I understand fully why they are looting and doing everything and being destructive in Minnesota. Because this is, at some point, you get to the boiling point. I mean, we all know that when we were younger, and even today, when we boil water, you know, sometimes it just gets to the boiling point. You know, if you're cooking rice or something, it gets to the boiling point, and then it just boils over. Right? Yeah. So this is what's going on. This is what's going on. And to all of my white colleagues that are listening and watching, I got to tell you this. And that is that it's hard to understand if you're not a black male. It's really hard to understand this stuff and understand how we feel. Understand how those of us feel who go out, you know, and when they pass the police, they don't know how to handle that. You know, so listen, everybody's asking for calmness. If there is no calm, don't get upset because it's okay to be angry. I'm telling you, I completely rejected ICE. When they say, you know, I say no.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to say I'm sorry for being angry. I mean, this is the real world. So listen, call in and let's talk about this at this town hall. How do you really feel about this situation? I know. I mean, I'm asking a rhetorical question because I know how a lot of people feel. So, you know, but we have to answer the question, what do we do moving forward? I mean, so you tear up the city, okay? You tear up every city. I mean, right as we came in, I don't know if you noticed, ICE, or right as I was passing downtown, trying to get back to the house after I left the studio, there was a gathering downtown. Something was going on down there where you guys are.
Protesting downtown here.
Yeah.
Protesting what? I don't know. A couple of people in the comments said it. But, I mean...
Oh, someone in the comments said that about the protest?
Yeah.
So, you know, yeah, and if you look at what we're seeing from up here, I think there's still a protest there. If you're looking at us when we go to the Zoom screen, you're going to be able to see, right, we did the same when they killed MLK. Yeah, you're going to see what's going on outside. And I think you guys can see that, but that's in downtown Louisville. That's outside the studio downtown. And it's one of the reasons why I decided to do this here at the house, because just for that reason, because there's some type of protesting going on. But listen, don't ask me not to be mad. Don't ask me not to be angry. Don't ask me not to go out and buy a gun. I mean, you can't do that. I mean, I think it's nice of you to do. Anybody, white or black. Don't ask me that, because I have a right to be angry. Everybody in this country has a right to be angry, not just black people. Everybody. Mm-hmm. Everybody have a right to be angry. Everybody has a right to be angry. Y'all, so listen. So I'm one of the things that I want to express tonight is, let's be unapologetic about being angry. I mean, it's okay. It is absolutely okay. And for those who don't understand why we are angry, I'm not sure if they would ever understand. And again, this is not race based at all. This is not race based at all. Because if you're human at all, when you see that video, you know. So in any case, hey, welcome to the town hall.
Hello.
How are you?
Can you hear me? I'm wonderful. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. And here shortly, the people are going to be able to see you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, first of all, thanks for joining the Conscious Fever Town Hall tonight. Talk to us about the George Floyd situation. Tell us. I mean, what are your feelings? Well, let me just pose this question. First of all, what's your name? I think I know who you are.
Dr.
Kia Pruitt. Yes. Thanks for always watching the show. But listen, but here's my question to you. Is, should we apologize for being angry?
No, people should not apologize for being angry. But I have something else to say to that.
Okay.
People should not apologize for being angry. Anger is a natural human emotion, right? But what people should do is be careful how they utilize their energy.
Okay.
Be angry, but do something about it in a productive way. There's a difference between having a response and having a reaction. Emotionally charged people are easily triggered and they have a tendency to react rather than to respond.
Yeah. So, so what do you say to those people who say what's going on in Minnesota now is a little out of control?
I say that I understand where people are coming from, but again, it's a reaction, and a reaction is a knee-jerk reply to something. It's quick, but a response takes being disciplined. It takes being proactive. It takes replying, because you will have taken some time to handle a situation. So if people knew that crime against black men is something that's pervasive, then what should be happening is you should have a town hall meeting all the time, or whether it be with just the men are the soldiers, or men and women sitting at the table to figure out a solution so that when if something like this happens, then you deal with it in a very disciplined way. Now, there are different ways you can handle it. If you want to take the militia approach according to the Constitution for the United States of America, you can definitely have a militia. It's lawful, right?
Right.
According to constitutional law. So if you wanted to take the Malcolm X approach, like somebody else said, then that should have already been done, rather than just having a knee-jerk reaction. You could take that response. Or you could take the response to learn how to operate in your proper persons and be taught how to operate in your proper persons. Or you could take the response to operate in the private sector, because people who operate in the private sector don't deal with this type of this type of reality.
That's interesting. No, go ahead.
Yes, be mindful how you use your energy, because there are beings that are in control or have been in control who trigger people so that you can emit loosh from your being. Loosh is an energy that comes from the being of a person that is suffering or has been traumatized. Loosh feeds these beings that are in control. Now, so you have to be mindful that you deal with these type of situations without emitting loosh, so that you're not feeding these entities.
I saw a post tonight. I saw a post tonight that suggested that I think it was put on by the Urban League, and the Urban League was suggesting that this may be affecting many people's mental health. So they were having a Facebook, some type of thing going on Facebook at 6 p.m. today about the mental health. What do you say about that?
I say that it can affect people's mental health, and that's why you need to take control over what you allow into your space. You don't need to be. I don't understand why people like to be traumatized, watching a video over and over. Using a whole lot of time and energy to deal with this. You have to learn and choose your battles. And if you are a responsible human being, then you will have done something about this a long time ago. Let the men handle it, or have a town hall meeting and let the gentlemen deal with it, and you focus on what you can control, because we control our own reality. What you think about and focus on manifests and multiplies. If you keep focusing on this, you're going to keep bringing that into your reality.
Right.
So it does affect your mental health. It does. So turn off the television.
Interesting.
Turn it off. Let the men handle it. Let the soldiers handle it. You know, the Constitution say you can have a militia. There are militia all over this country, and they operate lawfully. So let them handle it and take care of your children, take care of your homes. I see women on the front line of the battle. They should not be. They should be in their home raising their children and teaching their sons and their daughters how to behave themselves and conduct themselves. Let the men handle this. That's just me.
Right. What do you think? And I'm going to ask this question. It's going to sound rhetorical, but it's not so rhetorical. Should the officers have been fired immediately?
Should the officers have been fired?
Should they have been fired from their job immediately, as quick as they were? I think it was almost like the next day or later that night, 4 police officers were fired. You agree or disagree with that?
Brother Carl, I'm not into law. I can imagine that when you're in a law like you are, that maybe people take time to gather information before they make a decision like that. So I want to reserve a response because I don't know the proper way to behave in that type of situation.
In a situation, but somebody said to me earlier, it took 7 to 9 minutes for him to kneel on George Floyd's neck. So it should have taken 7 to 9 minutes for them to be fired. I thought it was interesting. I mean, but kudos to the mayor of Minneapolis because I actually think he's pretty sincere. I've heard a couple of his. Well, what do you think? I mean, I've heard a couple of his press conferences. I think he's pretty sincere.
Yeah, I think I'm sure he is. And you asked me a question, and I think again, if we were being responsible, we will have had that answer already prepared. Because responsible people are proactive, right? They don't react. They don't say, "Oh, I think it should have been this way. I think it should have been that way." They are proactive, and they will have already had an answer to that question, and they would have been able to sit down and talk with the mayor and the people who handle those types of situations.
Right. So, Dr. Pruitt, is this our turning point? When I say our, is this the turning point for Black America?
See.
I mean, just a question. It's not a legal question. I know you. I'm not going to give you the opportunity now to throw the the lawyer thing back at me. Is it a turning point for Black America?
Okay, it is a turning. Is it a turning point? Actually, I think that people who classify themselves as Black, I think that it could be, but I think it's up to decide. Because we have the power to make that decision. And again, now I'm gonna get a little legal in this answer because if people keep words cast spells, right?
Right.
And we keep classifying ourselves as Black. And as you know, the etymological definition of Black is blank, bleak, void, pale. And in law, you have no blacks. Black has no legal standing, right?
Well, we have Black's Law Dictionary, but other than that,
right.
That's the author's last name, by the way.
Law, right?
I mean, yeah, but Dr. Pruitt, ironically, that's the author of the legal dictionary. His last name is Black. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So what I'm saying is, it's a little deep for me because I think people need to stop going around calling themselves Black because it's not a nationality, it's not an ethnicity. It's a legal status. So, is this a turning point for Black people, for people classifying themselves as Black? Possibly, but I think we have a lot of work to do. And I think, honestly, Brother Carl, I think we're watching too much television and we're allowing ourselves to be triggered too much, honestly.
Right. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that at all. I have to be honest with you. Ice in the studio. What do you think? What do you think about what Dr. Pruitt is saying?
I agree with her.
You agree with her? Can I?
Yeah.
Why?
But
I'm just curious.
I get what she's saying because it's like we do need to be proactive. So because it's like you already knew they was gonna riot. Right.
But
what after the riot?
But rioting is reactive. It's more reactive than
they
it is
should have
proactive.
had, right. They should already have. We should already have a plan for if something from when Trayvon.
Right.
When that happened.
Right.
And then Eric Gardner. I mean, we should already have something in place.
But that's an interesting. I mean, that's an interesting comment because my thought on it is that then how do we get to that place that you're talking about, Ice? How do we get to that place?
I'm the eye for an eye type person, so I mean it is what it is.
Malcolm or Martin, Dr. Pruitt?
I'm a woman. I would leave that up to the warriors to decide.
Oh, okay. Can I give full disclosure on my show? Because I know, Dr. Pruitt, you have often said in your comments when you comment on the show to leave your guy alone. I think you may have called to him, referred to him once as guy. Is that right?
Leave my guy alone?
Yeah, I thought you said leave my guy alone, leave my man alone, or leave my friend alone. You don't remember that?
Oh, my president. You better leave my president.
Yeah, you said your president. So yeah.
Who? 45?
45. Yeah.
Oh no!
Full disclosure.
Hang up on her.
Full disclosure. I'm 45, right?
I ride with 45.
And I knew. That's why I wanted to have this conversation with you, but at the same time, well, Phyllis Bivens said, "So am I." Okay. Reply. Okay. No. Actually, she's saying, "So am I" to something else. But in any case.
So what are they riding with him for?
So this is about George Floyd. Now we can bring Dr. Q Pruitt on another night so we can talk about Trump support. But 45 is your president. You are a Trump supporter.
Yes, I am.
Tell me, now, let me just digress just a little bit from Floyd and just ask why what is it? Well, you understood or you understand what Joe Biden said, right? He said anybody, any black person, and I know what you just said about being black, but any black person that supports Trump ain't black. Did you hear that comment by Joe Biden?
I did. And I ain't black.
Oh, Lord.
Okay.
I'm not a slave. I do have some standing in law. I do have a voice. I believe in the Constitution for the United States of America. So I just dismiss that. That's another thing. That's what I mean about not being triggered.
Right. And I believe that too because outside of my door here, I've got a big red, white, and blue American flag. The one that was made by, what's the lady's name? Who made the flag?
Betsy Ross.
Yeah, Betsy Ross. Looks just like the one that was made by Betsy Ross.
Okay.
Do you think the president's response was appropriate?
I did. He said that he would have, I think he said he had the FBI to look into it, or the Department of Justice, something like that.
And you believe that?
Yeah, I do.
Ask her, do she have a Make America Great hat?
Do you have a Make America Great Again hat?
I don't, but I don't know why I don't, because my life has been threatened by people who classify themselves as black.
So your own people, huh?
We gonna get one of our people is the producer at the one of the Dre Dawson at the station there, Ice. We might have him come in on the live to talk about the Pruitt.
He gonna have the fist up on him, man.
But I often wonder what drove. I mean, because we all know about the women from I think it's South of North Carolina, the two black women, the sister. I think they're sisters or cousins or something.
Yeah, Diamond and Silk.
Yeah, Diamond and who?
Silk.
Yeah. They sound like Dr. Pruitt Trump supporters. But in any case, Diamond and Silk, actually they sound like strippers, don't they?
What do you know about strippers?
Well, I mean, I was young once. I haven't been gray all the time. So Diamond and Silk. Can you imagine Diamond and Silk on a pole? Just saying. Just
POLL. Right.
Oh, right. Well, they're on. I almost said that they're on Donald Trump's poll. POLL, y'all. POLL, y'all. Yeah, the ballot. But listen, but seriously, what type of black female supports Donald Trump?
Omarosa.
Yes, the type of black female that supports Trump is the woman who understands or understands or overstands that Donald Trump was recruited by the white hats of the military to take down the deep state and to restore the country back to the republic. So, as you know, being in law, we're not, the republic is not operating right now. The United States Incorporated is operating, right? So, but Donald Trump is dismantling the United States Incorporated that usurped our government, and he's returning us back to the republic, and he's also returning us back to the gold standard and returning us back to constitutional law.
But isn't it? But I mean, some would argue, Dr. Pruitt, that it's not working because of Donald Trump.
Well, I understand that because they probably don't really follow his policies or read his executive orders. There's a lot really working, but the mainstream media does not highlight it. So you have like the IRS being dismantled right now, which is why the Department of Treasury is handling monetary issues, which is what the Constitution for the United States says. So you have the IRS being dismantled by House Resolution 45. You have the House Resolution 5404 to return us to the gold standard. You have 15 states that actually use gold and silver as legal
tender.
Legal. Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You have the First Step Act, which released black males who are nonviolent offenders. You have a whole lot that Donald Trump is doing for the American people, but the mainstream media will not highlight that. They will not showcase that.
I do agree, and I think I've said this on the show before. I have watched enough news talk shows to know that sometimes they go a little bit too far when it comes to President Trump. And I do believe sometimes that they pick on him, but that doesn't give him any brownie points for intelligence at all, none whatsoever.
But you have to be, see, I'm a female, I'm a feminine woman. I like arrogant men. I like men who speak their minds. I like men who take you no prisoner, no holds barred. I believe in a manly man. I believe in a man that doesn't care about what you say or what you think, as long as he gets his point across and he's doing what's in the best interest of his family and the American people. That, I get behind that. That's what gets me excited.
President Trump gets some brownie points, for that. But let me get back to Floyd. Apparently, there were a couple of EMTs that arrived on the scene, and when they arrived on the scene, at one point, it is alleged that the officers did not allow the EMTs to take a pulse.
Yeah.
And then there's some another allegation was that the EMT took a pulse and did nothing to try to revive. Just threw him on the stretcher and took him to the hospital. Should we be holding the EMTs accountable also?
No, not until you have all the facts. Like you said, it's alleged. This is allegedly what happened.
Right, but why should we? Okay, but why should? I don't mean to interrupt you, Dr. Pruitt, but why should we wait? 7 to 9 minutes was all it took for George Floyd. That's the only time he had to wait, and that was involuntary. Right? And when a man is down on the ground and he's yelling for a grown black man, and he's yelling for his mama.
Yeah.
That's some serious SHIT.
Yeah, that was saying.
I mean,
very traumatic.
Right.
Very serious.
Yeah, very, very traumatic. So I just throw the question out there because, if we say that Derek Chauvin is racist, then we have to also say that animus that existed in him to continue to keep his knee there or continue to believe that it was okay because this man was black. Because we have a lot of footage here where when you put the white nationalists aside, Black Lives Matter, I mean, it's totally different. And I think the media has now exploited that and made it very clear very vivid now that you see tear gas in Minnesota, but at the State House in Michigan, you didn't see that.
Brother Carl, you mentioned Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter, Antifa, the Tea Party, those were all funded by George Soros in order to cause racial division and racial tension. George Soros is a billionaire that gets behind these racially charged, I don't know what you call them, programs or whatever they are. They have people that
Black Lives Matter program. Okay.
They cause a bunch of mayhem. This is what I mean about, and people just act out of control, just act foolish. Again, that's why we need to be proactive. We need to be proactive. We need to be responsible and take responsibility for how we reply or react, or however you want to say it, to these situations. When you know that George Soros funded Black Lives Matter and all these other things, then you understand that there's a racial division agenda.
Right, and it's all planned. It's all intended.
It's all planned.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me say one thing that's going to upset some people, but I don't placate people's feelings. I don't.
Right.
Some things are real that we see on television. Some things are staged. You have to be able to look at things from a certain type of lens so that you can have all the facts and you can know what's real and what's a production. Because we do know that there are some production. We do know that the media plays on the psyche of people. We know about Operation Mockingbird, where the media was funded by the CIA and created by the CIA to control the minds of the people. We know that they hire crisis actors to stir up people's emotions. When you have all this information, this is what I'm saying about being responsible and proactive. When you have all this information, you don't make knee-jerk reactions. You come to the table, you sit down, you look at the footage, you hire your attorneys, you do whatever you have to do, and then you deal with the situation from a rational perspective and state of mind.
Wow.
So what was the Floyd thing? Was that staged or was that real?
I don't know. You know what? I don't know. You know why I don't know? Let me tell you why I don't know.
What did you see?
I didn't. I don't watch them.
So you haven't seen no footage of it?
No. I refuse.
Okay.
So you would have turned us off if we had showed the footage. We refuse to show the footage tonight for obvious reasons, out of respect for the family.
Carl, I'll watch anything you show.
Oh, okay. I got people in my house that are looking at the footage. Send her the footage so she can watch
that's
it.
what I want her to watch, the footage.
Okay, well listen, Dr. Pruitt, it has been a pleasure to have you to participate in this town hall. Said a lot of good things, said some things, the Trump thing made me make a left turn.
Yeah, I was very shocked too. I mean, I've been rooting I've been rooting for the doctor.
She said why?
Up until now.
She said why? You want me to answer why, Dr.
I'm just
Pruitt?
not a 45 fan.
Okay, so she wants me to answer why. Why? Because I really, aside from the race thing with Donald Trump, because sometimes I don't see some of his conduct as being racist as others do. However, I think he is a certified idiot. And I am scared as hell sometimes that we may not make it to Christmas 2020. Only because he is an idiot. And because when you look at, first of all, 100,000 people have died. In my opinion, that we're at 100,000 because that man refused to accept that this thing was real. Wherever it came from, whatever theory, conspiracy or otherwise, wherever it came from, people were actually dying. And then they told us when it came to America, something was going to happen. And I'm sure that there's a theory, Dr. Pruitt, about the coronavirus.
I'm not going to go there. Yeah.
Right.
So is that real or staged?
You hear what I say?
The COVID-19 was created in a lab in America. That's real. And the purpose was to depopulate the planet. That's very real. But the alliance and Donald Trump and the people who are taking down the deep state and those people who have been controlling the planet, use this as an opportunity to have mass arrests, which they're doing. You can even see the mass arrests. You can even see the military tribunal, and to change over the monetary system from a fiat-based system to a gold-backed quantum financial system. So yes, the COVID-19 is real, but the alliance used that as a cover, since they already did that, they staged this very real pandemic. They're using it as an opportunity to turn us back over to the Republic, to institute that Nassara law. I don't know if you know about the National Economic Security and Reformation Act. And return it to the gold standard. So yes, I understand that.
Interesting.
So was you a Republican before Trump, or?
She never said she was a Republican. She just said
she's
that
a Trump supporter. So she might as well be.
Yeah, but she never said she was a Republican. So I don't know
for this term.
No, I didn't say that. You know what I support? I support the Constitution for the United States. I support the Republic. I support sovereignty. I support our wealth being restored back to us. I support constitutional law. That is what I support. I support the release of men who classify themselves as black, who were put into prison because of the policies of the Clintons. Yes, I support that. And if it takes Donald Trump, who they call an idiot, a racist, whatever they call, to deal with these very nefarious beings to get us back to where we need to be, then that's what I'll do. Now, if people who classify themselves as black don't like that, then what they need to do, instead of being reactive and talk about how much they hate Trump, is to come up with a
reclassify.
Okay. Well, very, very well stated. Well, Dr. Pruitt, the time always catches up with us. But listen, thanks for calling. We're going to do this again. We're going to do this Zoom thing again. And we had some mechanical problems tonight that we're going to correct during the editing of this show. So, Dr. Pruitt, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
And beware going into on the live, because they are tearing you up.
Oh!
They are tearing you up in the feed. And usually you're there to defend yourself.
Brother Carl, have me on one day to talk about Nassara law. Because when I tell them that all their, they can tear me up, they cannot like me. But when all their debts get discharged, when they get the wealth that's restored back to them, when we're back on constitutional law, when the suppressed technologies come back online, and all the things that's going to happen under Donald Trump and the Nassara law, when it's released, they're going to be happy. They don't have to like the man, but God can use whoever he or she decides to use to do what needs to be done.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yes, sir.
God can even, God can even use an idiot. But thank you, Dr. Pruitt.
Yes.
Okay, good night. Okay, listen. Thank you all for joining us tonight on Conscious Fever. We are out of time. Thank you, Dr. Pruitt, for joining us on this live broadcast. And there's a lot more to talk about, with George Floyd. We only just touched the surface tonight. But I will say this in closing, DJ Ice. I will say this in closing, that if anybody out there listening to the sound of my voice, don't let anybody tell you that however you react is inappropriate. I mean, and I'm going to go so far as to say even the looting and the destruction in Minnesota, because you have a right to be angry. And all of us express our anger in so many different ways. Some of us go to the gym and work out. Some of us go hit a punching bag. Some of us, destroy things. Mm-hmm. So, but I don't think we should focus too much on what the reaction is. I think we should focus a lot on how we got to a place where people have to react. So, you got a right to be angry. I'm angry, and I'm going to stay angry until my emotions naturally tell me that I shouldn't be angry anymore. And God forbid if during that period, that short period, that we're talking about another George Floyd. God forbid. Anyway, I'm Carl Price. This has been Conscious Fever here on Ice Entertainment Television and Conscious Fever Radio. In the studio is DJ Ice.
All right.
And I want to just say, I want to say thank y'all for coming into my home tonight. The difference is that all I have to do is take this jacket off, take these clothes off, and go get in my bed, and I don't have to get in my car and drive all the way. So in any case, we're logging off, but before you log off, I want you to do something. I want you to take a listen to the video that we're playing to end this show. It's really, 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 really sweet. But it starts off with Family Feud with a marriage proposal. I'm Carl Price. Good night. Stay tuned to Conscious Fever as we talk about black violence this month. We'll see you next week.
What do you do?
I'm an inbound marketing strategist for colleges and universities during the day, and at night I'm a dancer, not the exotic kind.
Yeah. So you married?
I am not yet.
Not yet? Well, what's wrong?
Well, I'm just waiting on him to pop the question. Yeah.
Who is he?
He is my little sugar, dark-skinned, tall, everything to me.
Really?
Yes.
Y'all know him?
Oh, yes. Yes, sir.
He all right, dog?
He cool.
He cool?
He real cool.
Okay.
He real cool.
He passed the test.
And he's a doctor. He's a doctor.
He's a doctor.
Ooh. I wasn't going to say that. I was leaving that part out.
Girl, you need to hurry up. You need to hurry up. You can't let this one get away.
It'll be 2 years, July 7th, that we've been
that y'all
together.
been dating?
Yeah.
Oh, that ain't that long.
It's coming.
You think so?
Oh, I know so. I know.
I bet you don't.
I may not know the date that it's coming, but I know it's coming.
Because, see, I'm the CLO. Let me show you something.
Oh, okay.
Come here. I'm going to show you something. Come out here. Now, you stand here.
Okay.
Okay, come on. Now, I want you to see something. Okay. I want you to pay attention to me. Now, I'm going to let you see something that you don't know, since you think you know everything.
You okay? All right. Give him his hand, too. Surprise.
You lied to me.
I'm here today on national television in front of all these people, asking you if you would do me the honor of lightening up my life.
I remember when we met. It seems like yesterday. You were rolling with your girls, but you had your eyes on me, baby. That's when I up and lay my eyes on you. That's when you winked to tell me make my move, and I'm so glad I did. She put her arms around my neck and pulled me closer. I felt her heart and then I knew that it was over. Said I don't wanna be a player no more. I couldn't wait to get you all alone, and I'm so glad I did. I popped the question. I finally popped the question. I popped the question. Yeah. I never would have thought I would up and leave the game, but I guess I never been in love, cause I could've sworn I'd never change, baby. Remember when you threw that thing on me, and it was like you put a spell on me, and I'm so glad you did. Man, it's been a year now, girl, I'm hurting now, and I know that I done did my share of wrongs, but regardless, you refuse to let me go, just to show your love was true. And every day I thank the Lord for you, and I'm so glad I did. I'll pop the question, girl, just understand. know it's hard. Say I know